Hello! I'm here to record a second part of the Sketchbook playthrough, and I can never say it right, so forgive me. It's this chunky sketchbook, and I think it's literally called, the size is called Chunky. It's by C. White of Brighton, and you can find part 1 in the description or in my profile. You can see the beginning, the first half or so of the sketchbook. It's about half, and it kind of marks half. The first half marks a part of my art journey, and then I kind of started drawing a lot more in the second half, and that was like 6 months difference. So yeah, it will be quite interesting. If you want to see like a comparison, you can check out the first one and then watch this one, or watch them in the opposite order. Oh, my brain switched off. So yeah, I have a few more that I will be showing you soon. So this one I finished a while ago, and I shared it exclusively for Patreon. I haven't decided yet whether I will do a YouTube video on it, but I might. Yeah, it was out on Patreon a couple months ago, and then I have a couple more. These are mixed media and a watercolor stock, so yeah, they're coming soon. Let me know if you have a preference on these two, and I can record them soon. I was kind of distracted recently with all the new art materials and especially inks, but I think it's time to do a sketchbook tour because it's been a while and I've kind of completed quite a few recently. I was just finishing, like, I haven't done all this work recently because I started in 2022, so it's quite a long time to fill it in, but it just so happened that a few of the bigger sketchbooks I just finished, so yeah, I feel really happy with that, so I guess I can't stop talking about it, but I'm just going to start now. I hope you enjoy this and you find it inspiring. For a very long time I didn't even have a sketchbook, and I thought that I couldn't because I felt a bit unhappy with drawing and like committing to a page, and I feel like, especially in the second half, but also a little bit in this half, I kind of felt a bit more free to explore and create ugly pages and experiment. Like, this is a complete disaster, but it was still fun to do, believe me or not. And yeah, just doing swatches and ugly drawings and good, like, better drawings. So far this was one of the better ones that I really liked in this sketchbook. And yeah, like you can see, as you can see, this page is ugly, and sometimes I do it, maybe not on purpose, but like, I don't care if it's going to be ugly or not. And this is, so you might notice that it says 1st of January 2024. It was not a New Year's resolution because I don't do them. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. They crumble by end of Jan. It was a day 22 of drawing, so before Christmas I decided that I'm going to draw every day, and I still am. I'm happy to say I'm on day 80 now. So this was about 60 days ago, so like 2 months ago that I started. And yeah, I was just like, I used some paint left over in my palette, and by palette I mean like literally something like this, like a whatever it's called, like a coaster. I use anything I can as a palette, it doesn't really matter. And I had lots of paint on it, so I kind of just didn't want to waste it, and then I painted on top of it. Yeah, I can't waste. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking so much about this page. There's not much interesting stuff on it. It's a Posca pen. It's I think these two are also Posca pens, but they're like chisel tips. They're much bigger. I would show you if I could find it. I can't find the Posca. It's basically like, I can't find the chisel tip, but it's like a neon colored, fluorescent colored chisel tip ones, and Posca is just a an acrylic marker pen, and it's very nice. It goes on like a lot of different surfaces. They come in all different kinds of sizes and shapes. So yeah, this was like a smaller black one. Just experiments, and not much really to say about this page other than it was a fun breakthrough, like start or restart of drawing, because this was like about June time. So yeah, a big break in the sketchbook, because I always work in like 5. Yeah, I believe this is Gansai Tambi at the bottom, and that might be 2. So Gansai Tambi is this Japanese brand of watercolors. They behave more like gouache, and I got this set for Christmas. Oh yeah, it's January, yeah. I was just working out the timings were right or not, but yes, I'm not lying. Sometimes I get confused with times. Anyway, so yeah, I got the set and I was just like testing out colors, how they blend together and that sort of thing. So really enjoyed that, and used, I think it was a Muji pen, like just like a ballpoint ink, gel ink, ballpoint. And I really like this size, 0.7, so it's quite a chunky one compared to other like fine liners and ballpoints. But I really like that size. Just started drawing doodles and trying to get myself back into the habit of drawing. And when I do a sketchbook tour of this one, and I can't show you because there's swears on it, and I know YouTube doesn't like swears, so I'll have to like cover it when I do the tour. But I started doing these doodles here, kind of like towards the end of last year, and this was like a continuation, just like for timeline purpose. I don't know why I'm saying it, I probably don't care. So yeah, some doodles, flowers, radishes, lemons, cats, all kinds of fun stuff. Then I was focusing more on like working out my style in like botanical doodles. I love drawing mushrooms. I've been drawing them for quite a while, so this was kind of really fun. This one's Posca, again on Gansai Tambi, and colored pencils. I think this was Derwent, or yeah, Inktense, or the other one, the water soluble Derwent, and Derwent drawing pencils. And this one's a pink, like a fluorescent, I forgot the brand, Caran d'Ache, I believe. And an orange one. Yeah, just a really fun like exploration of colors and shapes and mushrooms. I love this page. And then doing some more doodles. When I'm stressed, I find that when I doodle stuff like this, it just really calms me down, because you have to like, you don't have to pay that much attention, but you need to be a bit more precise when you're doodling small things. So yeah, just a few different ways of drawing that I was trying. I really like this page, and in fact, it's not based on this page, but I'll show you anyway. It's based on my other sketchbooks. Oh, it's based on this sketchbook. What? I didn't realize for a second. Yeah, I scanned it in. I then lightened it up in Photoshop, and because it's neon colors, when I lightened it up, it completely lost the colors. So it was very easy to like pretty much remove the backgrounds. And I used my partner's like receipt printer, and I bought some like cheap sticker paper that you can put into a it's not laser, whatever the receipt printers are. And I just printed stuff for fun. So who would have thought that I pull it out on the right page? Completely forgot this. And then I made a few stickers like this from some other designs, and I just really had fun with this. And I sometimes use this like on my orders when I get an order or something like that. It's just a fun gimmick. So that's that. Some ginkgo leaves, strawberries. Yeah, I was just like drawing stuff from references from Pinterest, and then like coming up with like my own ways of drawing them, stylizing and everything. Some more with colored pencils and a brush pen. This one's a Fudenoskie. Like it's not a brush, it's called a brush tip, but it's more like a fake brush. Like a hard tip brush. Yeah, just a really fun page. I think on the background you can see some like watercolors mixed with Curio mica. I think it's mica. It's like iridescent paints that I bought. I was trying to experiment for something for my graphic novel. Didn't really work out, but they are really fun to just use in sketchbooks and things like that. Here we have frogos and mushrooms. Just again having fun, drawing lots of doodles on top of watercolors. Don't know what else to say other than it made me really happy and it got me into the habit again. Like, I know it was day 26, but it kind of helped me stay in the habit, I guess. And yeah, I just really liked using watercolors this way. Didn't have to focus so much on making the colors blend well or anything like that. And then also in January we started. January is a month of a challenge. I hope I'm okay. I just checked because I thought my face was in the way of camera, and that happened to me on my first ever video I recorded. And all you could see in it, well, you couldn't because I never posted it, but all you could see was the top of my head and not what I was drawing at all. So I checked and it's fine. In January, Monkey Mintaka and Birdie Tam Art organized Burp Fest mainly on Instagram. And Monkey Mintaka also shares a weekly stream, or at least she did this year, where she draws one of the birds on stream on YouTube. And yeah, you should definitely check out the challenge. It's 31 days with 31 birds to draw, or you can pick and mix. You can pick any you want. You can draw them at any time, or you can choose from a short list. This year I drew all of them, and I'm really happy with that. I think last year I did too, but this year I was much happier with what I created. Sometimes it takes a few years to kind of get used to a challenge like Inktober and stuff like that. I don't know, it just takes time sometimes to get comfortable. So yeah, this one's a penguin prompt, and yeah, I was just like drawing birds with like different frames each time. Later on I did a lot of digital, like I digitized it and cleaned it up and posted it on Instagram. So you can check that out. The hashtag was BurpFest or BurpFest 2024. Here I was just drawing like flocking birds, and that's something I'm kind of exploring for my graphic novel. Maybe one of those next few pages, it might feature in my graphic novel. Who knows? I need to like scan it in and see if it works. But yeah, I was just like trying different shapes of birds. And for these, I mainly used Pexels references. It's like a royalty-free website where you can find different photo references and use them for reference, or yeah, you can use the images as well for your own needs. I'm not making sense anymore. I realize that, but I'm doing my best here. So hold on. Bear with me. English, no good. Anyway, let's move on. It's probably not going to be the snappiest video ever, but hey. Some flowers, just exploring some designs. I wasn't really happy with it at the time. Everyone was drawing these, it's not snowdrops, lily of the valley or whatever. I've seen it at every like well-known artist, well, not every, but most of the well-known artists' accounts, and I was like, I kind of really want to draw it, but now it kind of looks like everyone else's, so yeah, I kind of ditched that quickly. And then I drew more of the bird shapes, murmuring, just kind of, I love that sound and I love watching birds do that, like fly around. Some more. Really like this page. I guess it's a bit more dynamic because they all look different, whereas these ones are all like synchronized and almost like fake, I guess. This is more organic. And yeah, still exploring the different colors. I think this is still Gansai Tambi. It looks like, or it might be some other paints. Yeah, some more birds. And this looked like a perfect golden hour view. Golden hour is like my favorite time of the day, where the sun is almost setting and everything turns, like all the trees turn yellow and the sky turns red, and it's just really a really nice, like, I guess 15 minutes. Yeah, anyway, I like walking during that time, so I thought I'll kind of put that down. Some more birds. These are a bit more chaotic and like, I guess angry looking, ominous looking, to work with the sky. And for all of these, I think I used my Fudenosuke, and I should really show you what it looks like, but I don't know if I have it here. I don't, but I can show you something else. Oh no, I found it. Is this Japanese brush pen. It's called brush pen. I call it fake brush pen. It's by Tombow, and I got them on Amazon ages ago, where it was like quite cheap to get straight from Japan. And it's by, I think I already said it, by Tombow. And it's a water-based pigment ink, and pigment ink usually means that it's light fast. You might want to make sure that it definitely is, but I believe it is. And it says here it's a soft tip, but I wouldn't call it a soft tip. It's like a, oops, I just realized I probably wasn't in focus even. Hopefully I was. There's this like fake brush tip. And this specific one is, there are like 3 different versions of this pen that I could see. Yeah, soft tip. It's really nice. Whenever I run out of ink in one, I keep them because I love the textures that the used up pens create. So, tip for you: don't throw out your brush pens that run out of ink. It might come in handy at some point. But yeah, I'll show you in a minute when I have a page that doesn't look so finished. I'll show you how it looks when you draw with it. So all of these were done with this pen. Yeah. This one's I think it's gouache and a bit of acrylic paint, I believe. Just trying things out and yeah, drawing on top of it. And because this was gouache, I had to draw on top of it with Posca just to kind of make sure that it didn't break the pen, because this one, like a Muji or that pen, would like probably scratch off some of the paint and it might destroy the pen. These are quite, they're quite sturdy, but they might break like with heavy use like this. Then I have a really bright page. I believe this one was painted with acrylic gouache or potentially with Shinhan Pass, but I think it must have been acrylic gouache. Yeah, again, I think I used this one. Just some fun flowers. Here I started using Random Street View, and I will bring it closer to you just so you can see, because it's not very visible. And this sketchbook, so it's the Sea White of Brighton, and it's cartridge paper. It's alright with mixed media, but some stuff that just doesn't work on it. I don't remember, I think it was Ecoline watercolors, and it just, there's a weird texture. If you can work with that, that's great, but sometimes it's a bit annoying. and some inks on it just don't work, so bear that in mind. But it's pretty good, even though it buckles. Like, it's pretty sturdy paper. Some more birds. Oh yeah, Random Street View is a website where you can kind of land on randomly on any place in the world, and it will open up a street view from that place. You can usually walk around and like explore the area. You can select different kind of filters of what you want to see, whether it's urban. I believe that site has like urban, I guess, I don't know what to call it, like landscapes, you know, things like that. And you can select countries. You can drag the little man around, you know, the little Google Maps guy around, and like pick different places if you want. And I was just randomly going to places. Some more Random Street View. I'm sorry. Am I boring? Am I boring myself? I don't know. I find it quite fun to watch my own sketchbooks and like see my journey, especially because I feel like the Random Street View really helped me develop my like observational drawing and like drawing places, because I used to be really scared of that and I avoided it like however much I could. So yeah, a few different places. I don't know if it's too small. Here I was trying to be more like illustrate some plants from the area, so I kind of found these places on Random Street View, and then I found a couple plants that were kind of native. Like, I just googled them, and yeah, I have good memories of drawing this. I think these two I drew after watching Katie Moody, and she has an excellent video explaining what Random Street View is and how to use it. And she goes into a lot of details, so if you're interested in that, check her out. She really shares a lot of useful stuff about drawing, and yeah, I find her account really wholesome. And also her Patreon. Some bugs, I guess. Maybe it's dragonflies. I was just trying to push myself and like draw things I wasn't comfortable with, and like trying different ways of drawing the same thing. And then we have some more Random Street View. Just trying some urban sketching. And I think my urban sketching started, or like some people would say it's not urban sketching if you do it from a map view. But yeah, I started doing this after I got a scroller box. So I got one for myself as a gift to myself for Christmas, and it was like a set of alcohol markers and some marker paper. And yeah, I just really enjoyed drawing them. So then I started exploring, like, I think I found another one which is like Random Street View, where I would just drop the pin and start drawing. And then I saw Katie Moody's videos and I was like, this is really good, and it really helped me. And then I kind of found this weird door. So this was in Italy, and there was this door to someone's possession. Possession is like a Polish word for property. And this door had like lots of patterns, so I kind of took a couple of my favorites and I kind of created my own design with them. That was really fun. Oh yeah, here I was like protecting my pages from smudging. But some Froggo Wizards. This was on a Zoom call with Amy Harwood. She does some workshops online. They're really fun. It's called the Drawing Club, I believe, something along those lines. And these were my first frog drawings, and then I went into a different sketchbooks and kind of worked on slightly better stock and create a final piece. And I should probably show you, because I should have it to hand if I don't destroy my entire studio in the process. So these were my frugos that I eventually kind of painted in my other sketchbook, and that sketchbook tour is coming soon, but these are my stickers. And they were done with Kansai Tambi, mainly. Yeah, just a fun workshop. I tend to make finished pieces with Amy Harwood, so if you're struggling with that sort of thing, I highly recommend her workshops. And they're quite affordable as well. Here's another Burb for Burb Fest. I quite like this one. I remember feeling a bit proud of it. Not the best bird, but I liked it. Here I got some inks from Cold Pens, and I was just swatching them, and they're not very visible, so I'll show you closer up. Just doodles, just to kind of see. And I think I was testing out glass pen for the first time. Yeah, just a fun thing to do. Another bird for Bird Fest. Cow-crested arakari. Have a little guy. A cactus parrot and brown-hooded kingfisher. And at this point I was drawing for 30 days every day. So I was getting in the hang of it. This page I probably used Payne's Grey or something similar, and it kind of went a bit too dark, but I still managed to like use it, and it didn't go to waste. But yeah, just some more doodles. I just had a mushroom face, probably still do. Here I was doing a course on Domestica, and this one was like a watercolor painting, and I was just trying different blending, like precision and blending, and I kind of made it my goal to make this page look kind of striking in like, yeah, I wanted the patterns to make sense. Not make sense, but create like some kind of almost a finished piece in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope you like the aesthetic look. And this was probably Kansai Tambi? Maybe? Some ink testing. Lots of scribbly lines. I didn't like this hand, obviously. But a thing about hands is you draw it really badly once and then you redraw it, and usually it's better, so yeah. Sometimes I love my hands I draw, sometimes I don't. These are the cute mushrooms I drew, and they're kind of at the back of my mind as a design idea for my next washi tape, and I probably will make mushrooms. Potentially use those. Here I just doodled on the page and tried to draw and paint on top of it. Didn't really like it as much as using paints underneath. But it seems like I had fun. More ink, swatching and that sort of thing. And here I really had a lot of fun. I used glass nib, and I was using inks in various colors. Sometimes I was like mixing them up in a palette and like not cleaning the palette and like dipping more and more. Yeah, Apple Glory and Oxblood. Same, like two different inks mixed together. And this might be a part of a washi tape design because I just like this pattern. Especially this cute little one. But anyway. Let me know if you ever tried glass nib pens and whether you like them. I fell in love. Some ducks, and I really loved these two. Some graphic novel practice. I was trying to draw a person sitting down and holding their knees, sort of pose. Yeah, no comment. Just some trial and error. This was trying out inks, dropping inks in a wet on wet technique. like you would watercolor. I was just trying to push the ink as far as it would go in trying to get it to show all the different colors in it. I think I succeeded because it's one ink and it shows very different colors and it bloomed beautifully. This I believe is Quink. I'm not sure what ink this was. This one's Quink, and it kind of worked and kind of didn't, but I think it's because I did wet and wet. It kind of dried a little and then I painted on top just to make the effect a bit stronger, and it created a weird effect on top of it. I'm not quite sure I like it. That's what my sketchbook is for, just experimenting. Here's a page I was doing for that Domestica workshop with watercolor. I really didn't like this page, kind of didn't feel it, so I left it and filled it with washi tape later on. And this one's of my own design. And sometimes people ask me if it's 2 or 3 different washi tapes. It's the same design. I just made it extra long for extra value. I guess I couldn't decide on which cuts to include. And here we have another burb for Burb Fest. And I started drawing these like parts of frames so that I could use them digitally, kind of by copying and pasting. Just had a small distraction, so I hope it's not too jarring, but I'm back. And yeah, I was just saying that I drew these and then scanned them in or took a photo of them, cleaned them up digitally, and I used them kind of as a kind of like a collage sort of thing, where I would draw a bird, say something like this, and then I would, like, I think maybe I even did it with these. On one of the birds I used the swatches and I kind of pasted them around. Some of them were more successful than others, I have to say, but I did frame every single bird. And yeah, I was just like playing with ink and nib pen. Here is a drawing is free session, which I've been missing for quite a long time, but I joined this one. Again, I drew with glass nib pen. And drawing is free is a weekly session. I don't know how to explain it. If you go to drawingsfree.org, you will see a bit of description, but basically it's organized by Chloe, who runs these sessions twice on a Monday, one in the morning, one in the afternoon of European time. And she picks a person, she plays some background music from Spotify or something like that. And then for each song, she picks another person, and that person, if they agree, they pose for like 3-5 minutes, and everyone draws the same person. And it's a very, 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 very good way of learning to draw people and faces and hands. Lots of hands as well. And I've really improved my drawing skills with those sessions, because you have to be very quick. You can't overthink it. You just have to go for it, and if it's ugly, so what? You have another face in a few minutes. So yeah, I just had fun, especially with inks. It's really interesting. Like this face, I know it's not great, but I like it a lot. I like the way I drew it, and I also like this younger person here. I tried to shade a little bit as well. It's a bit hard to shade as well as paint within the time. And I did this. And I like a lot of the time, those people don't look like the actual people that you draw, but it's not the purpose of that, is like practice. And I just really love how this person came out. I don't know, I just feel like I captured them, even though it's not really good anatomically, probably. Here's a Scribble Brigade session. It was like a replay from last year. And this one was Barbie themed. And Scribble Brigade is a session organized by Sophie McPike, They ran probably like, I think the free version, the free sessions are run every month on YouTube as a stream, and you can rewatch the replays at a later day. And she also has a Patreon, and she runs those sessions twice for Patreon. So if you're a patron, you get access to 3 sessions a month. If you're not a patron, you get 1 a month, I believe. I might be wrong, but yeah, check her out. She's very, very inspiring, and a very, very, very inspiring patron as well. So check it out. Some Barbies. All of them were done with ink, different inks. I was just trying every single ink I had at the time. Really like this blue ink. I think it was the drawing ink by Winsor & Newton. Yeah, I just had fun. I don't particularly like any of these Barbies. I find them ridiculously hard to draw because they don't really look like humans. Their bodies are weird and not realistic. No one's that thin. Like, there are thin people like that, but not all of them. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's very idealistic. Here I kind of looked at the page full of blobs and kind of used my imagination to fill in the gaps. And it's a process it's something called pareidolia, and it's when your brain finds shapes in random objects and patterns. Like if you look at sky, like clouds, and see shapes in them, that's pareidolia. I have a feeling that I'm not making much sense, so I'll try and speak less or be a bit faster, especially as this is getting a bit long. Here are some more birds for Birdfest. As you can tell, probably, I didn't really like how this bird came out, so I kept going. This is one of my favorite birds. It's just so fluffy and cute. Here's Art Hang Party, and this was day 40 of my drawing. So Art Hang Party is an online stream on YouTube with Melissa, and she's just amazing. She provides all the reference pictures, and it's just really fun. Very interesting. I always draw this at these sessions in a few different sketchbooks because things dry and I can kind of move between without smudging pages. And here's one that I think the reference was upside down and we were to draw it upside down, so that's how I drew it. And the actual picture would have been like this. But it's kind of like a brain tease where you kind of try and work out the shapes upside down. Fun fact about me, I can write upside down, I can read upside down, I can write backwards, and I can read backwards. I can't combine the two. And here's a bird for Birdfest. This texture here is done with ink, very wet ink. Some more birds. This one was purely done with ink, and maybe no, I think that's all inks, actually. Yeah, just fun. This one too, I was kind of not feeling it that much, so it became a bit less defined than the other birds. Here was a really, really fun session with Sophie McPike, and you can watch me paint most of these on my YouTube video. I will link to it if I don't forget. If I do and you definitely want to see it, give me a shout and I'll drop it in if you know. Sometimes I need a reminder. And yeah, it was Curio cabinets, so we had some reference photos and we kind of, the task was to put them into a Curio cabinet of, our design. Not quite sure what happened here. Maybe an accident. It doesn't look right. Yeah. These were more fun, I guess. And here is, so this background is ink. which is like Ecoline, I believe, or something like that. And I found that water-based ink, and then on top of it, water-based ink, just don't agree. Everything went a bit funny or fuzzy. So yeah, a good lesson learned. Beautiful bottle that we painted there. And so this is again Ecoline watercolor, liquid watercolor, and I drew some birds on top. You can see how my brush is starting to wear off, and I still love it. Like, I love this effect. Some more birds. I think this is botanical, which is the weirdest bird and the weirdest name of a bird. Here is like this weird effect that Ecolines give in the sketchbook. It kind of creates a texture for free. Oops, sorry for the shake. I hope I'm not moving my sketchbook too much. I just realized I'm kind of moving it around a bit much, so I'll sit down and calm down a bit. This bird is one of my favorites as well. It's just so playful, and the background colorful, and like yeah. I think it was the last bird, or one of the last birds. Oh, I know what happened. I painted these and I kind of didn't want to draw on this background. So I went from 27th. I drew this one first. I ran out of space for the tail, so I was like, I'm going to do it, like, touch it up digitally anyway. So I drew the tail on the other end of paper. Here I was swatching for an art haul video, which you can see here on YouTube. And then I drew these two. Yeah, we've seen them already. I'll keep going. Oh yeah, this is a pilot parallel pen. It's like a very, very wide nib pen used for calligraphy and hand lettering. And I was doing some experiments. Someone had a question on Discord about this art material and just was curious about how it looks. So I drew a couple tests for them. Here was a snow bunting bird. Didn't really feel it much. And this is acrylic gouache by Turner. And I think this might be the one I used in the end on like Instagram. Here's a painting from a session with Amy Harwood. And we were drawing mythical creatures, and this one was dragons. It was almost at the same time as Chinese New Year happened, so it was really fun. And I've made a much bigger drawing of this one in one of my other sketchbooks, which I'll show you now. You'll get a sneak peek at a different sketchbook that's coming soon. And this one became my Patreon print for February. I can never say this right, but who cares? We all speak differently, don't we? So yeah, I hope you didn't see the cover. So yeah, it was an Amy Harwood session. And here's the last bird for Burpfest. I have to say, if I drew this bird a year ago, it would have been a complete disaster. Absolute shambles. But this year I kind of feel like I got the bird. Like, yeah, it's just a really fun bird. And I liked it so much that I didn't want to like smudge it. And I drew it again. I think it's like graphitined paint and a bit of maybe Muji pen for the line work and some colored pencils. Yeah, not perfect, but I love it. And here are the last two pages. A lot of people don't paint on the last pages, but I felt like it needed completeness. And this was exactly a month from when I started like drawing the sketchbook again. So yeah, weird coincidence. And I kind of finished off with these. And these feature, like the style features in my other sketchbook that I started recently. I'm already halfway through it because it's a really small sketchbook, so it might be coming soon. And then I drew this fox, sleeping fox. And I'm really proud because I often do my first page of a sketchbook really ugly on purpose, and like even when I came back to drawing in this one, the first page was kind of ugly. I really don't care that it's ugly. Like it just gets me over the first page fear. And I kind of like to focus on the last page if I can be bothered, like if I'm not overwhelmed by the fact that it has to be good. But yeah, it was really fun. So this is the end of the sketchbook. Oops, I just realized that I've missed a page. It's the one before the last. And I really like the color combination of these between the background and like the foreground. And here's the last page. Oh, it happens. In total, it was about 1.5 years of drawing. Can I count? Whatever, you can count. My brain is off now. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this sketchbook tour. Again, if you want to see the first part, have a look at my previous video. And yeah, I hope you loved it. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube that, you know, people enjoy it, and it helps them show my videos to more people. You can leave me a nice comment, please. No mean comments, please. And yeah, you can find me on Patreon. Weird is the best as well. I'll leave the links down below in the description. You can also find me on Etsy, where I sell all kinds of things like washi tapes and that kind of stuff. Stationery, prints, comics, and stuff like that. I think that's everything. I hope you have a lovely day artsy, and until next time, bye!